Yo-ho! What is going on, everyone? And welcome back to the channel. Wolf here, nice and full of turkey, and ready to get back into things with you. Now, I've had a few days to play Ark, and it's the same game that I've come to love over the years with some much needed upgrades. Today, I'm going to go over some of the most notable improvements to the game over its previous version, Ark Survival Evolved, as well as some of the negative things that are still bothering me to this day. Before we get into the video, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button to join the Wolf Pack. Hit that bell next to it to stay up to date with all my latest content. Links to all my socials are down below, and a special shout out goes out to the now over 1.1 thousand of you who have already subscribed, and the special few who have joined the membership club. Now let's get into the video. To begin, let's do a little history lesson for those of you who don't know what Ark is or have even heard of it. Ark is a magical world where you start out as an abandoned survivor dropped on an island with a strange codex implanted in your wrist. You have no food, no clothes, no tools, and there are prehistoric and fantasy-esque creatures roaming the island that you've been left on. Your job? To survive. Make tools, gather food, build shelter, and even tame some of these wild beasts to help you along the way. As you play, you will find hidden survivor notes left behind, which tell you a story of how the Ark came to be and what you need to do to escape. Ark Survival Evolved was originally launched back in 2017. It became very popular and has since grown vastly, with multiple new maps, dinos, and other mythical creatures that have been added to the game. With this latest release of Ark Survival Ascended, we get a complete rework of the game's core mechanics, a huge overhaul to the crafting and building system, and to top it all off, the entire game has been ported over and rebuilt in Unreal Engine 5. It's very similar to other survival games, like Minecraft. Okay, so it's a lot like Minecraft. It's Minecraft with dinosaurs. The thing that I like most about this game is that it can appeal to a large variety of players. This game has a PvE side and a PvP side. There's solo play, or you can play on a server with your friends. There's crafting, base building, stat farming, dungeons, boss fights, and much more. Alright, I'm starting to sound a little biased, so let's break it all down. To begin, let's go over some of the biggest upgrades since Ark Survival Evolved. First, the engine upgrade. People talk about engines in video games and how they're built nowadays, and I'm no game dev, nor do I understand the inner workings of how to build a game. But man, Wildcard, the guys who built Ark, did a great job making this game look and feel fantastic. Now, you might be reading online that in order to make this game run nicely or look as great and fantastic as it sounds, you have to change a bunch of the settings or have a super expensive graphics card, but I play on Xbox Series X and I think the game looks great. I did play with my settings slightly, changed some of the way that the light glares move and the camera shaking, but overall, it's great. But the dynamic weather, from rain to fog, the northern lights moving across the sky at night, is absolutely incredible. Another neat feature is the AI of the creatures in the game can now interact with their surroundings better. For example, take like a huge T-Rex stomping through trees will now shake the leaves or actually knock a tree over, and it's really cool to see that level of immersion compared to the first game. The second biggest upgrade, and this one is huge for me, is the crafting building overhaul. In Evolved, the building system was okay. There were things like snapping issues, poor organization of the building UI, and just it overall did not feel the best. Well, in Ascended, that's all been fixed. They reorganized the crafting and building UI to where it makes just more sense and it's not a jumbled mess. They added snap or free placing options, which was literally the bane of my existence in the older game. Trying to line things up so that they were straight was an absolute nightmare. This version feels much better and I'm really happy with it. I'm currently still working on building up my own house, but once it's done, I'll do a base tour with you guys. Okay, now the cons. There are still issues with the game. Now look, all games have their issues, but you'd think with this game basically being a re-release that Wildcard would have done a better job, right? Well, sort of. The first biggest issue I have with the game it is very poorly optimized. The game is cross-platform and can be played on PC and Xbox, but we're still waiting on PlayStation. I've seen a lot of things around that the game is very different depending on your platform. Now, PCs had the game for a little over a month, Xbox just released this week, but PlayStation is still currently waiting on a release date set to early December. These release dates have been delayed multiple times due to credentialing issues, and I really think it's mainly due to not being optimized properly on each platform. I saw some gameplay from a Series S compared to a Series X, and the game almost looked completely different. The textures were very dulled down, and I think Wildcard could have done a better job at making the game work and look nicer on all platforms before they were ready to launch. But again, I'm not a game dev and I have no game building experience. I'm just a guy who likes to play video games in his spare time. Lastly, the other thing that really doesn't bother me, but it's going to turn a lot of players off who are new to the game, is it is not very beginner friendly. There are not much in the way of tutorials. It is very much a trial by fire type of game. They throw you in and you just have to figure it out on your own. There's no, here's how to do this, or here's how to do that. Here's base building, here's how to make a tool. It is all on you. I would suggest, if you are very new to the game or to the franchise, find a player who has done it before and is a little more experienced or seasoned, or you can join with a group of friends who doesn't mind the learning curve and trying to figure things out with you. That will make your experience much better. The game has tried to build on this. With Ascended, they now have some nice little NPC voiceovers when you discover one of the survival notes, which are the clues and tips throughout the map. You have to find them though, and they're not in any order. They don't quite give you the basics. They explain more of the creatures that are on the island, and I think that Wildcard should do a better job at introducing new players to the game. My thoughts overall? I'm a big fan of this type of game, and I'm willing to overlook some of the issues that others are not to have a good time. I think that there are ways you can still enjoy this game with your friends, because at the end of the day, it is still just a game. I think the greatest thing about this game is it can be played any way you want. You can grind it out, you know, balls to the wall, and beat all the bosses as fast as possible. You could also take it one day at a time, very casual, and build a small base, learn how to play each and every type of creature there is in the game. Any way you choose to play this game, I think there's great fun to be had. So, that's a little backstory on Ark, my day one, or well, week one thoughts. If you agree, or you have another point you'd like to discuss with me, feel free to drop a comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, likes, shares are always appreciated. My friends and I are working on building up our own start on the island, and things are going great. If only my buddy Cam would stop getting all of our tames killed. If you're playing, let me know how your adventure's going. I have an entire section on my Discord dedicated to just Ark, so if you want to stop by and chat, show off your newest tame, or show off your new base, link to join can be found down below. But that's all for me for now. Wolf, out!